Imagine planning the perfect heist, only to find yourself hunted by both the criminals you worked for and the cops who are supposed to enforce the law. Now, add a ticking clock and a daughter who barely knows you. Welcome to Term Life, a thriller where every second counts, released in 2016, Term Life. Stars Vince Vaughn in a rare, serious role as Nick Barrow, a man who sells heist plans to the highest bidder. But when a job goes south, he's forced to go on the run, dragging his estranged daughter, played by Hailee Steinfeld, into a life-or-death chase. But here's the twist. This movie isn't just about action. It's about redemption, fatherhood, and survival against impossible odds. And there's more to Term Life than what meets the eye. Behind-the-scenes drama, a shockingly low critic score, and unexpected performances that deserve a second look. Welcome to Movies Review. If you love deep dives into films, both the famous and the forgotten, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Now, let's get into Term Life. Nick Barrow is a man who doesn't commit crimes, he just plans them. He's a heist mastermind, carefully crafting detailed blueprints and selling them to criminals for the right price. His plans are flawless, ensuring that every job is executed perfectly. But there's one rule in the criminal world. If something goes wrong, someone has to take the fall. And this time, Nick is the one caught in the crosshairs. When a robbery he orchestrates goes sideways, Nick becomes the target of a dangerous Mexican drug cartel. To make matters worse, the corrupt cops who were supposed to look the other way now want him dead too. It's a perfect storm of betrayal, and Nick is running out of time. Nick isn't just fighting to save himself, he's also thinking about someone he barely knows, his teenage daughter, Cate. He's been absent from her life for years, but now he's desperate to make sure she's taken care of. Knowing he may not survive this chase, he takes out a life insurance policy. There's just one problem. The policy doesn't pay out unless he stays alive for 21 days. That means he can't just run, he has to survive. Nick and Cate find themselves on the run, dodging assassins, escaping ambushes, and navigating the dangerous underworld that Nick once thrived in. But Cate isn't exactly welcoming her father back with open arms. She's angry, hurt, and sees him as nothing more than a criminal. What starts as a desperate attempt to stay alive soon becomes something more. As Nick and Cate fight to survive, they begin to understand each other. The father-daughter bond that never had a chance to grow is now being tested in the most extreme way possible. Between car chases, shootouts, and betrayals, they learn that family isn't just about blood, it's about trust. Will Nick outlive the 21-day deadline, or will he become just another name on a hit list? That's the suspense that drives Term Life forward, keeping viewers on edge until the very end. Vince Vaughn is best known for his fast-talking comedic roles in movies like Wedding Crashers and Dodgeball, but Term Life presents him in a completely different light. Here he plays Nick Barrow, a man who survives by staying one step ahead of the criminals and law enforcement. It's a serious, dramatic role that demands more than just witty dialogue. It requires emotion, intensity, and depth. At first glance, Vaughn's casting might seem odd. His tall, lanky frame and casual demeanor don't immediately scream seasoned criminal. But as the story unfolds, he brings a quiet intensity to the character. Unlike the loud, over-the-top performances he's known for, Vaughn plays Nick as a weary, calculating man, someone who knows the risks of his lifestyle and has accepted the dangers that come with it. However, critics and audiences were divided on his performance. Some praised Vaughn for stepping out of his comfort zone, while others felt he didn't fully embody the role. His attempt at dramatic weight often comes across as subdued rather than gripping. While he does manage to bring moments of sincerity, especially in his scenes with Cate, the lack of emotional depth in his delivery sometimes weakens the impact of Nick's journey. Hailee Steinfeld is no stranger to intense roles, having already made a name for herself with True Grit and The Edge of 17. In Term Life, She plays Cate, a teenager forced into a chaotic world she never wanted to be part of. Unlike the typical rebellious daughter stereotype, Cate is smart, independent, and emotionally guarded. She resents her father for abandoning her, but is also reluctantly drawn to him, as their survival depends on working together. Steinfeld's performance is one of the highlights of the film. She brings the right mix of vulnerability and toughness to Cate, making her feel like a real teenager rather than a forced character trope. Her chemistry with Vaughn is decent, though some critics felt their interactions lacked the emotional weight needed to make their reconciliation truly compelling. Cate's role had the potential to be much more powerful, but the script doesn't give her enough depth, making her arc feel rushed rather than fully developed. Bill Paxton plays Detective Keenan, a corrupt cop who becomes one of Nick's primary threats. Paxton was a talented actor known for bringing charm and menace to his roles, but here, his character feels underwritten. Keenan has all the elements of a great antagonist: power, authority, and a personal vendetta, but the film never explores his motivations beyond being a corrupt cop looking for a payday. Paxton does his best with the material, delivering a menacing performance, but the script fails to make him a truly memorable villain. Compared to other corrupt cop characters in film history, Keenan lacks the complexity that could have made him more than just a one-dimensional threat. At its core, Term Life is about redemption. Nick Barrow isn't a hero. He's a man who has made a career out of crime. But when his past decisions come back to haunt him, he's forced to reevaluate what truly matters. His journey isn't just about survival, it's about trying to fix the mistakes of his past, especially with his daughter. The movie explores the idea that it's never too late to change. Nick knows he can't erase the years he missed with Cate, but he tries to make up for them in the only way he knows how, by protecting her. The dynamic between Nick and Cate is the emotional heart of the film, showing how relationships can be rebuilt even in the most desperate circumstances. One of the most interesting aspects of Term Life is the relationship between Nick and Cate. Unlike typical action movies where the hero fights for a love interest or revenge, this film focuses on a father and daughter learning to trust each other while being hunted. Cate isn't just a damsel in distress. She's strong, capable, and often challenges her father's decisions. Their interactions are filled with tension, sarcasm, and frustration, making their dynamic feel authentic. While the film doesn't fully capitalize on their emotional journey, it offers some refreshing moments where Cate takes control of situations instead of just being a passive character. Term Life attempts to balance action with emotional depth, but it struggles to find the right tone. The movie isn't a full-blown action thriller, nor is it a deep character study. Instead, it lands somewhere in between, which leaves it feeling uneven. Some scenes are tense and well executed, while others feel slow and lacking in urgency. The action sequences are decent, but not particularly memorable. The chase scenes and shootouts are competently shot, but they don't stand out compared to other thrillers. The film's strongest moments come from the quieter, emotional exchanges rather than the action itself. Few films manage to score a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, but Term Life is one of them. This means that out of all the critics who reviewed it, not a single one gave it a positive rating. So, what went wrong? Critics pointed out several key issues. The film's pacing was inconsistent, making it feel slow despite its thriller setup. The dialogue felt flat, failing to create real tension or emotional weight. The talented cast was underutilized, with many performances feeling disconnected from the story. Some critics argued that Term Life had an interesting premise but was let down by weak execution. The father-daughter dynamic had potential, but the film didn't explore it deeply enough. The action was serviceable but didn't bring anything new to the genre. In the end, Term Life wasn't necessarily terrible, but it was forgettable, a crime thriller that didn't leave a lasting impression. Despite its flaws, Term Life isn't completely without merit. The concept of a heist planner being forced to survive his own failed job is interesting. Hailee Steinfeld delivers a solid performance, and Vince Vaughn's attempt at a serious role, while not perfect, is commendable. The emotional moments between Nick and Cate offer glimpses of a better film that could have been. The biggest issue is the film's lack of urgency. For a movie about being hunted by criminals and corrupt cops, the stakes never feel high enough. The action is serviceable but uninspired, and the emotional core doesn't hit as hard as it should. Term Life had the ingredients for a solid thriller, but it never fully commits to any of them. So is Term Life worth watching? If you're a fan of Vince Vaughn or Hailee Steinfeld, it might be interesting to see them in these roles. But if you're looking for a thrilling, action-packed ride, you might be disappointed. This is one of those films that works as a casual watch but won't leave a strong impact. It's not terrible, but it's also not great. If you're in the mood for a crime thriller with a unique premise, give it a shot, but keep your expectations in check. What do you think? Have you seen Term Life? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Movies Review for more deep dives into films.